Tonight, Caitlyn Clark faced Angel Reese for the first time in months, and of course, it got physical.
Take a look, yep. Angel Reese with a hold there.
However, by the end of the night, Clark had shut her up once again.
Oh, sidestep Clark! Sick!
5 days earlier, she put up her worst game in the W, one of 7 from the floor, 6 points in a 20-point loss to Portland that had the entire internet writing her off. But tonight, she ended the night with one of her best floor games of her career. And on the very first possession she touched the ball tonight, she drove into the paint and delivered a no-look bounce pass to her teammate cutting along the baseline for an easy finish.
Clark dump off the hole in the lane, puts it in.
And then she went right at Howard in isolation, created space with a step back at the free throw line, and buried the mid-range jumper to tie the game at 6. But the Portland ghost was not gone yet, because her next 3 from the right wing clanged off the rim, then a logo attempt from the left wing drew nothing but iron.
This is Clark, too strong.
And when she tried to attack the rim off a screen, Okot rose up and swatted the ball away, and the Atlanta bench celebrated like they had already won the night.
Screen, Clark to the right, blocked by Okot.
The rookie's moving. I like it. Moving.
And on the other end, her oldest rival was waiting for her physically, because Reese came right at her on defense and put a body into her, with the officials looking the other way.
This is a good look for Hillman. Whistle blows.
And it wasn't only Reese, because on a drive into the paint, the contact was clear. The officials had nothing for her, and she had to argue the no call right in front of them. Because on top of the narrative and the misses, her body was fighting her too. Reports confirmed she threw up near the bench before the second half and still walked back onto the floor.
Right, so before the second half got started, Caitlyn Clark, after putting up shots, headed to the bench and started to actually throw up. She appears good to go and is playing through. Grady?
However, there is a version of her that does not need the shot to fall. And when the double teams came, she read them instantly and found her teammate cutting to the basket for a clean finish.
Sees a double, gave it up to Mitchell. Mitchell hits the accelerator, puts it up and in.
She lost the ball on a drive into the paint the very next time down, and instead of hanging her head, she turned around with the calmest look on her face like the moment meant nothing to her. But on the very next possession, she stood on the baseline with the inbound, spotted her teammate slicing through the lane, and threaded the pass for an easy bucket underneath. And then her own shots started falling, because off a handoff on the right wing, she buried a 3 with a defender draped on her, pushing the lead to 18-15.
Clark got some space, bottoms.
Atlanta clawed back and took a 43-42 lead heading into the middle of the third quarter. And every narrative from the week was sitting right there waiting if the Fever collapsed. But she grabbed the ball in transition and drove right into the teeth of the defense before dropping it off to her teammate under the rim for the go-ahead bucket, 44-43.
Dump off, Boston, yes!
And on the very next defensive possession, she pulled the rebound down herself, pushed it up the floor, and launched a sidestep 3 from the top of the key that stretched the lead to 4.
Oh, sidestep Clark, sick!
And from there, the floodgates opened, because in transition, she spotted her teammate streaking through the paint and delivered the pass in stride for another easy finish at the rim.
Clark quickly, a dime, Mitchell the lane!
She went right back at Howard in isolation for the second time, drove to the free throw line, rose into a fadeaway over the same defender, and put 2 more on the board.
It has to be an offensive threat when she catches it off a double team.
Clark off 1 foot.
In transition again, she found her teammate cutting through the paint for another finish. And by now, the assists were piling up like a statement all on their own.
Possession for Atlanta, Boston got 3 inside.
And then it was her turn to finish, because her teammate found her on the wing with a quick pass. And she drove coast to coast and scored at the rim to push the lead to 8.
More efficient for the field.
Clark off the feed from Boston.
The connection between her and her teammates was flowing in every direction, and the replays told a story of 2 players who see each other before the defense even rotates. She kept distributing, running the triangle, and finding her teammate cutting under the basket, drawing a foul on the play and putting Atlanta in deeper trouble.
Stops over to Clark, touch pass, Hall inside, and Hall is fouled.
Yet, the thing about this game was that she was not just orchestrating the offense, because on defense, she picked up a foul she did not agree with and let the officials hear about it.
Double foul.
But instead of letting the frustration carry her, she locked in on the perimeter and denied everything, staying in front of her matchup until the shot clock expired and the building roared.
Cross. Pow nowhere to go. Suffocating defense from Indiana.
Atlanta finished with 71 points, their lowest total of the entire season, and she was on the floor competing for every single one of those stops. And in the fourth quarter, she took the ball from one end of the floor to the other, crossed over a defender, and finished with her left hand at the rim to push the lead to 11.
Time left in this one. Clark going at Howard. Clark.
And on the very next possession, she drove into the paint again, collapsed the defense, and kicked it out to her teammate standing alone in the left corner for a made three that blew the roof off.
Outside to Cunningham.
She drove to the basket one more time and baited the foul so cleanly that she came up smiling, fists in the air, knowing the game was already over before the free throws even left her hands.
Fouled by Canada, and Clark with the sarcastic celebration.
Atlanta challenged the call, and the challenge failed, and you could see her standing at the line with the look of someone who had answered every single question the week threw at her. She pulled down one more defensive rebound, pushed it up the floor, and drew another foul because even with the game decided she was still competing like the score was tied.
That's not the percentage you want.
And this time, she stepped to the line and buried both free throws, pushing the lead to 13 with a minute left and nothing else to prove. She grabbed one last defensive rebound with a minute on the clock because even the final possession of a 12-point win belonged to her. 17 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. And afterwards, she called it one of the best floor games she has played in the W. Off her worst game in the league, after a week the entire internet spent trying to bury her, with her stomach turning in the tunnel before the second half even started, against her oldest rival, who walked off with 11 points and 10 boards, while she walked off with 17 and 8 and 7. She came home, dropped one of the best floor games of her career, and the Fever won by 12. See you on the next one.